The gaming industry is getting prepared for its big fall launch season, so there aren't many big titles being released in August. Still, there are a few notable games to talk about. The latest entry in the long-running Total War series is Troy, a Total War saga. This series started 20 years ago with Shogun Total War, and has spawned 14 titles and 4 spin-offs. The games are strategy and tactical simulators, released for the PC, and their main claim to fame is the ability to smash large numbers of soldiers in formation against opposing armies and watch the resulting carnage. Troy focuses on the epic battles from Greek mythology, as chronicled by the poet Homer. Historians disagree on how much of these chronicles were real and how much were fiction. This dichotomy seeps into the game itself, as the developers were not sure whether to try and stick to historical accuracy or to allow mythological creatures. In the end, they couldn't decide, so they included things like very large soldiers wearing outrageous costumes that kind of make them look like a cyclops. And there's no singular Trojan horse, just a bunch of horse-shaped siege towers. Still, the graphics are engaging and the battles are fun to watch. The campaign mode has a new system where you must collect different resources: food for your army, timber and stone to build buildings and siege equipment, and metals for advanced weapons. You'll have to make trades to get everything you need, and the computer AI isn't a pushover when negotiating deals. Recommended if you're a fan of ancient military history. The original Flight Simulator was released for the Apple II in 1979 and the PC in 1982. Bill Gates liked playing it so much that he bought the company. Early on, it was considered the gold standard for PC compatibility, and Microsoft released 11 more versions for the PC, culminating with Flight Simulator 10 in 2006. The series languished after that, and flight sim enthusiasts moved on to other products. So it was a bit of a surprise when Microsoft announced a new Flight Simulator for 2020. Even crazier was the company's goal for the game: to let you fly anywhere in the entire world, mapped accurately in 3 dimensions with photorealistic image quality. After 40 years, the game has evolved from a game that Bill Gates liked to play into a stunning showcase of every advanced bit of technology that Microsoft can muster. The terrain features are taken from Bing Maps and then extruded into 3 dimensions using machine learning. The world itself streams over the internet from Azure servers as you fly over it. So what kind of computer do you need? At least 1 Skynet is required. 2 Skynets in SLI configuration are recommended. No, but seriously, you'll want at least a GeForce 1060 and preferably a 2080. As much RAM as you can fit into your machine, a fast internet connection, and the installation is 150 gigabytes with at least 50 more once you start playing. Is it all worth it? Do airplanes fly? Do you like Dark Souls? Indie developer Playstack sure did. They started with a core group of 4 developers and slowly ramped up their team to 15 people who were all devoted fans of From Software's games. In the process, they created a work of art that is more than just a copy. It's an homage that carries the genre forward. The graphics are certainly evocative of Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and the mechanics are also similar. But the game adds a new feature, a power that turns the player to stone in an instant, blocking most attacks and briefly stunning enemies. It's not a replacement for parrying, and it has a 10-second cooldown timer, but it's a welcome addition to your fighter's abilities. The game is shorter and has fewer weapon choices than Dark Souls, which makes sense given the smaller team. There's a dark story involving bringing sacred glands to a chained beast in a tower while establishing links with dead husks of humans to gain their abilities. Worth checking out if you like this genre. Booblets is a fun and quirky game that combines the farming mechanics of Stardew Valley with the creature collection of Pokemon. It's got a bright color palette of pinks and purples, and almost all the names of creatures, characters, and places are silly puns. Like in Stardew Valley, you start out with a barren farm and have to collect seeds and recipes to build more complex tools. And you'll run into town to talk to the offbeat inhabitants and run quests for them. But during all this time, you'll collect the little Booblets who run around behind you. If you're finished with Stardew Valley and are looking for a new farming adventure, this is the game for you. Fall Guys is the battle royale for the rest of us. You play as one of 100 little jelly bean-shaped creatures. You waddle around and bounce off each other as you compete in various random arenas. Some of them are obstacle course challenges, some have disappearing platforms, and some involve pushing giant soccer balls around. With each level, a fraction of the starting player base is eliminated, and it culminates with a race up a platform to grab the crown and gain ultimate victory. The physics of the game are silly and fun. You can grab and push other characters, but you'll likely bounce around yourself and maybe fall through a crack in the floor. You can also dress your character up with any number of hilarious costumes, including french fries, burgers, or a hot dog. It's all completely silly and fun, yet just competitive enough to be interesting. Worth checking out. Well, that's all for this month. Tune in next time for more fun and games.